The following is a presentation of the Big Ten Conference.
Getting closer to kickoff here in Madison inside Camp Randall Stadium, and it will be jumping for what is only the third ever meeting between Alabama and Wisconsin.
Alabama and Wisconsin, two iconic programs of college football. Both with Heisman Trophy winning running backs.
Open up the history books. Here comes Rondale.
Including one on the Big Noon set right now.
The 2009 Heisman Trophy is awarded to Mark Ingram.
It's been nearly a century since Alabama has stepped foot in Camp Randall Stadium. Allow me to welcome them back. Some things may have changed since that time.
Quarterback keeper.
Wisconsin has a new air raid offense to attack the stout Bama defense. Not to mention one of the best college football traditions featuring 80,000 fans.
Jump around. A tradition like no other in college football.
So welcome back to Madison.
It's time to cut it loose, guys.
We hope you appreciate the Big Ten hospitality. Feel free to jump around. And on Wisconsin.
Beautiful scene above Madison. Temps in the 80s, a gorgeous September Saturday here in Wisconsin. The last time the Badgers had a home win over a top 5 side, you have to go back to 2010. 31-18 win over number 1, Ohio State. Woo! Sorry, Coach. Delivery to kickoff sponsored by Wendy's Saucy Nugs. Get $0 delivery in the Wendy's app. Rob, Brady, Mark, Matt, and Urban back here with you on the floor of Camp Randall Stadium. After missing the first 2 games of the season, Bama left tackle Caden Proctor is expected to play today, which should alleviate some of the un-Bama-like play through the first 2 games.
I was fortunate enough to be able to spend time with the team last night, being in the team meeting. Coach DeBoer made it very clear what the keys to this game were. Dominate and control the line of scrimmage, win the trenches, stop this Wisconsin run game, and be efficient in the early downs on our run game. Caden Proctor, you spoke about him coming back. That should shore up the offensive line. Then you have 2 great backs in Jam Miller and Justice Hayes. Get these guys going. Last thing he mentioned was win the turnover battle. Create turnovers on defense and take care of the ball on offense. They take care of the ball on offense, win the trenches. It'll be a great day for all the Bammers.
Yeah, they had 3 turnovers last week.
Yeah, a great matchup, guys, to kind of keep an eye on is Nebraska cornerback Ricardo Hallman. He led the country last year in interceptions, potentially a first-round draft pick, really good football player. We talked about Ryan Williams earlier, the talented freshman, the 17-year-old, sort of in the mold of like the next Devontae Smith, 35 yards per reception. We talked about the big plays from Alabama. Keep an eye on that matchup if and when they line up against each other, because Wisconsin, coach, that defense needs to get those takeaways that Mark's talking about.
And I'm worried they're going to be on the field too long, because the Wisconsin offense, you cannot drive the ball consistently against the Alabama defense. But where are the home run hitters? You know, Wisconsin's had the 2nd most first-round draft picks at tailback since 2000. You got Melvin Gordon and Jonathan Taylor, these home run hitters, but they're last in the Big Ten this year. They were almost last, 113th last year. They're going to need some hits. You're not going to drive it against Bama.
You know who was first?
Alabama, yeah.
I think it's us.
This home-and-home series moves to Tuscaloosa next season, but today, the Tide favored by 16 on the road. Coach, how do you see this one?
I think it's just because of the crowd atmosphere, they'll hang in there, but I got Alabama's second half kind of pulling away 38-16.
I'm with you, Coach. I got the deficit 6. I don't think they cover. I think too much Alabama. 41-10 for me, Bama.
I've got Bama 30-10. My concern is really the Wisconsin offense still feels like it's a work in progress right now for Tyler Van Dyke. He's only thrown 1 touchdown pass. The wide receivers on the outside are going to have to get open versus that man-to-man coverage. I think it's going to be hard to stop Jalen Milroe from getting loose, as you like to say out there.
Deuce getting loose now, but hey man, Madison is a beautiful place, great people. I took an official visit here, and out of respect, I'm gonna give them 35-17 to the Tide. Out of respect, man. But the Tide gonna roll, huh? Out of respect, because I like Madison.
By the way, you would have fit in so well as a Wisconsin tailback. You probably would have won the Heisman, but maybe not the Natty.
We will never know.
We will never know, my friend.
Roll
What are you looking for, Brady?
I think the biggest thing in my mind is Wisconsin is trying to kind of change their identity from something Coach touched on earlier, and just being this physical team that wants to beat you up in between the tackle boxes. That's not what they are anymore. They're much more, I guess, obvious in what they're trying to accomplish. When they have 3 wide receivers on the field, they want to throw the football. When they have the 12 personnel with 2 tight ends or a fullback tight end in their base personnel, they want to run the football. That's what they're doing right now. They're still a work in progress, Coach. And I think that's the hard part, is trying to figure that out versus this Alabama team that scores 30 points per game. Right. That's the mark you got to get to. You got to be able to score 30 or more to beat Bama.
If I'm Alabama, or if I'm Wisconsin, I'm going to try to some deceptive and trick plays, because you've got to get some hits against this Bama defense.
Little trickery, huh, Coach?
Little trickery.
They call it the Dairy Raid offense, but they've been playing like they've been drinking skim milk and not whole milk as of late. A pair of 14-point wins does have the Badgers entering the field right now at 2-0, but they've got a big task in front of them as Luke Fickell gets set to run out his Badgers at Camp Randall. This whole crowd is going to have to show up big time to buoy the Badgers against number 4 Bama. We'll see at the break. For now, we send you upstairs for the call. Gus Johnson and Joel Klatt.
Big Noon Saturday is sponsored by AT&T Business. Reliability for your business is our business. From Camp Randall Stadium here in Madison, Wisconsin. We're ready to jump around, folks, as the Alabama Crimson Tide, ranked 4th in the nation, coming to town to take on Luke Fickell's undefeated Wisconsin Badgers. Hi, everybody. I'm Gus Johnson along with my quarterback, Joel Klatt, and welcome to Madison, Wisconsin. Alabama coming in town with the first-year head coach who replaced a legend and also a sensational quarterback in Jalen Milroe. He's got little Lamar Jackson going on, and he is such an exciting, explosive player to watch.
I think he's probably the most exciting quarterback in college football. Jalen Milroe is sensational, whether he's throwing the football down the field, which he's one of the best throwing it deep down the field, or with his legs creating, in a lot of ways, when he's got the ball in his hands, Gus, he's the fastest, most explosive player on the field, but he's got a new weapon on the outside. The youngster Ryan Williams, just 17 years old, folks, but I'm telling you what, we're all in for a treat because this kid is sensational as a wide receiver. But Gus, we got a problem.
What's up?
His nickname is Hollywood, so what you gonna do with that?
Well, as Daddy used to say, even an old car, son, has a spare.
There you go.
We got something for him.
That's
Trust
right.
me.
That's right.
Meanwhile, Wisconsin, new quarterback, a veteran. Tyler Van Dyke comes from Miami. He's put up terrific numbers during his career. They need him to be a little bit more aggressive coming into this game, but he's undefeated, and he's definitely calm under pressure.
And that's born out of his experience. He started over 30 games in his career, and he's going to need that experience. Listen, if you go back to last week, Alabama against South Florida, they had an ability to give up some big plays, but South Florida did not hit those big plays down the field. The biggest key for Tyler Van Dyke today is that aggressiveness, hitting the shots when they're put in front of him. If he can do that, maybe Wisconsin can pull off the upset today.
Time now to join the third member of our team roaming the sideline. You know who she is. Let's go downstairs to the All-American girl, Jenny Tag.
Thank you, Gus. Well, Coach, it's a new era at Alabama. Your biggest test today on the road. What do you want your guys to prove?
Just play our ball, our brand of ball, and just, tough, physical. We got to be fundamental. Got to do the little things right, the details. Pay attention to those, and the great things will happen.
A healthy O-line today for you. How do you want them to set the tone for your offense?
Yeah, it's going to be good to have all of them working together. It's what we had planned at the beginning of the season, for the most part. And so I'm excited for them to hopefully get in that rhythm here sooner than later.
Thank you, Coach.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, Jenny, thank you very much. What a perfect day here in Madison. 75 degrees at kickoff time. Sunny, no humidity. Here we are in the Midwest. This is a series that dates back to 1928. Each team has won once. Wisconsin won here in 1928, 15-0, and Bama won a 2015 game played in Arlington, Texas, 35-17. In that game, Derrick Henry ran for 147 yards and 3 touchdowns. Gus Johnson, Joel Klatt, Jenny Taft with you. Alabama won the toss, deferred. Wisconsin will receive the football. One of the big games of the college football season right here in Madison. Alabama, first major road test of the season against Luke Fickell. Luke Fickell's Badgers won 7 games last year, 5-4 in the Big Ten in his first year.
And in a lot of ways, Gus, the entire college football world has been waiting for this day in which we feel like Alabama, post-Nick Saban, will be tested for the first time. We all get to witness the Kalen DeBoer era really kick off in earnest right now.
Benny Anthony back deep. Badgers, Crimson Tide. Here we go. Anthony from the 5-yard line with a seam. Stays on his feet and gets all the way up to the 25 before being stood up. And that will bring on Tyler Van Dyke, super senior, first year at Wisconsin, coming from Miami.
And he's seen it all, Gus. He's got to pull on that experience. 31st career start. And we touched on that aggressiveness, and that's what his coach Luke Fickell talked about, is that they wanted him to, with intelligence, be aggressive down the field. Last week, South Florida had opportunities. Today, Van Dyke has got to hit those opportunities.
First down and 10 at the 25-yard line. Chez Mellusi, the running back. Van Dyke sets up a screen on first down. Mellusi trying to get downfield and will not get back to the line of scrimmage. That's a loss of a yard on the play. Deontay Lawson with the stop. Offensively, here are the Badgers.
I think the offensive line is really the strength of this unit and really the team. Nelson and Malman are both NFL players at the tackles. And then the skill position group is really led by Will Pauling, number 6. He's a transfer from Cincinnati. He plays out of the slot, number 6, and they will target him quite often.
Second down and 10 at the 25-yard line. Van Dyke throwing on second down. Underneath has a receiver, and it is caught. That's a completion. Watch out for this young man, Will Pauling. He is a speedster.
And he is their featured guy. He has the most targets of anybody on the team by almost double. So he's going to have to play a major role in this game against this defense. This defense, very good up front. They're athletic in the second level at linebacker. But this secondary is, I would say, inexperienced with each other. Malachi Moore, he's got to be the leader, number 13.
On first down after the 11-yard gain, Van Dyke wants to run it, turns it up, and slides down for a third. And it's interesting to me, Joel, they say they want him to be more aggressive, but he's 2-0. He's only played 2 games. He just got here. He needs to take his time a little bit as well, I would imagine.
That's right. And Coach did throw in that word, intelligent shots, you know, and being aggressive when it's there and not just aggressive for aggressive sake.
9-yard gain, 2nd and 1 at the 45. Mellusi in the backfield. Here's Van Dyke throwing it again with time. He'll shovel pass it forward and pick up a first down. Chez Mellusi. Nice hands out of the backfield. And Wisconsin keeps the chains moving.
You know, this secondary for Alabama, I talked about Malachi Moore, but at times they're going to have 4 newcomers on the field. 2 of them transfers, Domani Jackson and Keon Sabb. Keon Sabb comes from Michigan. Domani Jackson comes from USC. And then a true freshman at corner, number 2, Xavier Brown. Excellent young quarter, but still inexperienced in this type of a setting.
Air raid offense for Wisconsin. First down and 10 at the 47. Van Dyke swings it out. Mellusi in space, and he gets knocked down quickly. Nicely done. Malachi Moore coming up and making the hit. No gain.
That's your All-American right there. A guy that I think certainly can be an All-American this year. His instincts are unmatched. Such a good player. He has started games all the way back to the national championship year in 2020 under Nick Saban. And Malachi Moore, he's got to lead that secondary that has all those new pieces, and that reaction up on the run, that's just evidence of those instincts.
Tawee Walker, who didn't play last week, is in at running back, had a leg injury. 2nd and 10 at the 47. Walker, high snap, handled by Van Dyke, fires near side, It's a completion to Will Pauling. Not a lot. He'll gain 3. Wrapped up on the play by Keon Sabb, the former Michigan Wolverine.
You know, on this Bama team, they're going to bring on some pass rushers here. And we're going to see a few guys. James Smith comes on the field, number 23. They've got 19 out there. For me, I think rushing the passer is where Alabama has got to prove that they can really get after it. This is a defense that got hurt by the quarterback run a week ago, and they're going to have to get after the quarterback here, Tyler Van Dyke.
University of South Florida took Alabama into deep water. 3rd down and 7 at midfield. Van Dyke bounces it out. Taking his time, turns it up, and it'll go out of bounds. Short of the first down. Flag on the play. Is this a late hit is the question. As Keanu Oates comes up with a hit.
And Van Dyke is hurt on the sideline.
And that is not a good sign.
Here's Van Dyke as he's trying to dive.
Defense, number 1. 10-yard penalty from the end of the play. Automatic first down.
Damani Jackson, the left corner. And Van Dyke holding that right knee.
And that is not good because you could tell that was pre-contact, Gus. He had not been hit yet when that right leg planted. And non-contact, when you start grabbing the knee, that is not a good sign. Let's hope that Tyler Van Dyke is okay.
Time for today's Game Flow, sponsored by Progressive. We're at one of the great cathedrals of college football, Camp Randall Stadium, established in 1917. Capacity 75,822. And this is the home of the jump around. Meanwhile, Wisconsin's had to jump around a little bit now. They lost their starting quarterback. Brings on Braden Locke, 6-footer, 205 from Rockwall, Texas. Started 3 games a season ago. 1st down and 10 at the 35. Play fake. He'll throw it over the middle and incomplete. Locke started those 3 games a season ago. Came through with 2 notable performances. 243 yards and 2 touchdowns against Indiana, and 240 yards and 2 scores against Illinois, through just 1 pick in 152 attempts last year. This is a man that transferred to Wisconsin from Mississippi State after not playing for the Bulldogs in 22.
And you saw that shot. Tyler Van Dyke immediately headed back to the locker room. Head down, does not look good for number 10. So it'll be Braden Locke for the foreseeable future here.
First snaps this season for Locke. Here's a shovel pass. Didn't fool anybody. As Tyree Walker is gobbled up. LT Overton, first man to him.
I would say Braden Locke battled really well in this competition, and he made it difficult on Luke Fickell to name a starter. They didn't name Tyler Van Dyke the starter even as a veteran transfer until late into August, and a lot of people were surprised by that. So Braden Locke played well in fall camp, has a prolific passing history as a high school player at Rockwall High School there in Texas, and he's going to have to play great right now.
3rd down and 10 at the 35. Opening series for the Badgers. Locke fires over the middle and broken up at the last moment. Xavier Brown came out of nowhere. Keon Sabb. And that one knocked down. Let's go downstairs and check in with Jenny.
Well, Gus, I have to say, these reports are not easy ones, because it was clear that Tyler Van Dyke was in so much pain leaving that tent, having a hard time keeping his balance. It was that right knee. He's heading to the locker room for further evaluation and imaging, but Gus, he was pretty beside himself in the moment.
All right. Nathaniel Vakos comes on to attempt a 53-yarder. Luke Rosa Award semifinalist. Honorable mention all Big Ten a year ago. And it's good. 53 yards. Wisconsin pays it off. They'll take a 3-0 lead over the Crimson Tide. Big Noon Saturday is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Protect the stuff you love with Renters Insurance. And by AT&T Business. Reliability for your business is our business. The last time Wisconsin beat a top 5 team was in 2016 versus LSU. At Lambeau Field, the Badgers kicked a field goal with less than 4 minutes remaining to take the lead and sealed the win with an interception to end the game. 3-0 Wisconsin. striking first. They lose their quarterback, though. Tyler Van Dyke looks like it could be a knee injury. Jenny will have more on him as soon as she knows something. Meanwhile, that will bring on Jalen Milroe, one of the most exciting players to watch in all of college football. Kendrick Law, the deep man for Bama. Lom drives it deep and out of the end zone for a touchback. So here comes Jalen Milroe.
I've been so excited to watch this guy play. I tell you, he's so explosive, and it's not just with his legs. I think he is incorrectly deemed just a runner. He hurts people throwing the football down the field. He's actually one of the best in college football from a year ago, taking deep shots, throwing the ball, and getting those explosive plays in the passing game. And this team is an explosive play at any moment. And this would just kill this crowd, in particular after Van Dyke went down.
First down and 10 to 25, near side ball caught by Justice Haynes. Out of the backfield, they've got a two-headed monster and running back with Haynes and Jam Miller offensively for the Crimson Tide.
This is going to be the first time this year that they've played with their intended starting lineup up front. Caden Proctor back from injury, Elijah Pritchett. Those guys are really good on the edges, and then this skill position group is loaded with talent.
On second down after the 10-yard gain, they'll swing it out to Ryan Williams, and he'll go nowhere. The Wisconsin defense ready for it. Zachman first man to him defensively for the Badgers.
They're going to have to play at least in the first half without one of their leaders, their seniors. Jake Chaney had a targeting call in the second half last week against South Dakota. He will be out in the first half. Tackett Curtis takes his spot. And then Hunter Wohler, number 24, he's really the key. He's the leading tackler among secondary players, not only this season but last season as well.
Loss of one on the last play. Second down and 11. Milroe bouncing in the pocket with time, throws it out wide to the far side, and it's caught. Emmanuel Henderson Jr. turns it upfield and picks up a first down. There you see it with Alabama. Speed to burn.
And that's just I mean, Milroe's got nowhere to go. Wisconsin's trying to play safe, present the big play. Milroe does exactly what he's supposed to do, and he checks the ball down onto the outside. And then you just see the type of athletes that they have. Emmanuel Henderson takes it all the way almost for a first down.
Third down and short. First down now, because that's Justice Haynes just barreling through the hole and picks up 12.
I think the middle of that defense is where Alabama can really make some hay. Obviously, they're going to want to get the ball on the outside, feature some of these wide receivers, but watch out for the run game in between the tackles. This offensive line, I think, Gus, is one of the best in the country.
First down at the Wisconsin 44 now. Milroe steps into his throw, looking deep down the field and incomplete. No flag on the play, as Emmanuel Henderson Jr. was the intended target.
This is a spot on the field that you're always looking to take a shot. They do it there on first down. Let's see if they get back to the run game. Tight end comes on the field. They'll get into a single width formation. Gus, single width means that they don't have a wide side receiver up there at the short side of the field. Far top of your screen. All the receivers down here near side of the screen.
So trips at the bottom. Jam Miller comes in at running back. Milroe to throw it. Quarterback draw. And he high steps, picks up the first down, slides down even deeper into Wisconsin territory around the 33-yard line, a gain of 12.
I'm telling you, this run game in between the tackles today is going to be dangerous. They've got too much power in that offensive line, whether it's the quarterback, Milroe, or these two running backs, Justice Haynes and Jam Miller. They are so good, and all three of them, Gus, home run hitters. They can take it the distance at any moment.
First down at the 32. Milroe running, sweeping around the right side, and he is mowed down. Great pursuit by the Wisconsin defense. Tackett Curtis coming up and making the play.
Well, Tackett Curtis does a great job here flowing over the top. And the reason that I say that Alabama will have more success in between the tackles is because Wisconsin plays with more off-the-ball linebackers, so they can react and run out wide, just like Tackett Curtis does there, number 4, the transfer from USC. Terrific player.
Wisconsin, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, partner.
Wisconsin brought in 5 transfer linebackers, longer, faster, more athletic. Second down and 9 at the 31. Here's Miller. Jam gets it upfield picks up 4 on the play.
Yeah, and Ty Simpson, number 15, had to come in. That's all I was going to say, Gus, because Milroe's helmet came off. So just by rule, he had to sit out for a play, and there was a new quarterback handoff up the middle. But what a huge opportunity here early in this game. Gus, 3rd down. Wisconsin's got to get off the field.
3rd down and 5. Great opportunity for the Badgers. 9th play of the drive. Milroe. Here comes the pressure. Alabama picks it up. Milroe guns it. Incomplete. No flags on the play. Well defended by the Badgers. And that'll bring on the special teams for the Crimson. Tied.
Great coverage on the outside. Max Lofi. He's playing out of the slot. One of the nickel backs for Wisconsin, number 12, Ricardo Hallman. He had 7 picks last year from his corner spot. That's good man coverage.
Graham Nicholson in to attempt a 46-yarder. Transferred to Alabama after winning the Lou Groza Award a season ago at Miami of Ohio. Got it up and pushed it wide right. No good. The Wisconsin defense holds. They lose a quarterback. They settle for 3. Then defensively, they stop Alabama on their first series. This place rocking right now. Coach DeBoer would like to have it back. Coach Fickell, yes, I'll take it. Wisconsin with the football and a 3-0 lead. 5:53 to play in the first quarter from Camp Randall. Madison. Alex Van Dyke, their starting quarterback, went out on their first series. Now in Braden Locke, Mississippi State transfer. Locke handing it off to Malusi on 1st down with running room. And the University of South Florida really did a nice job last week running the football on this Alabama team.
You know, and one of the main components of that run game was the quarterback run, Gus. So obviously Braden Locke, you're going to look for him to get loose a little bit, but then you start thinking about the depth, and it's like, well, who's behind Braden Locke? So these are all now into the equation of what the coaches will be thinking about. Phil Longo, the offensive coordinator.
Gain of 7, 2nd and 3 at the 35. Locke, another handoff. Malusi, this time he's lucky to get to the line of scrimmage, falls forward close to the 1st down. Jahad Campbell defensively for the Crimson Tide.
You know, this defense is a new structure, and Phil Longo, there he is, the offensive coordinator at Wisconsin. There's been a lot talked about this change in philosophy from what Wisconsin was for the better part of 2 decades, and a successful 2 decades it was, to what they're going to be now under what everyone considered, well, this is the air raid system. And what they forget, though, is Phil Longo had a few running backs at North Carolina when he was the coordinator there, Gus, that ran for a lot of yards.
3rd down and 1 at the 37 for the Badgers. Tawee Walker in the game. They'll give it to him straight ahead, looking for the 1st, and he has it. Plus some. Crosses the 40-yard line up to the 41.
Just so fascinated with how Braden Locke is going to play, and what ends up happening is that this offensive line then has got to start winning their battles. Move the chains when you have the opportunity to move your chains to create easier situations for the backup quarterback Braden Locke. What you want to do if you're Wisconsin is be throwing the football when you want to rather than when you have to. That's the big key.
1st down and 10 at the 41. Malusi. Ooh. Slick, quick moves by Chez Malusi. Devontae Smith with the tackle.
You see these blocks up front. They're doing a great job up front, covering up these big defensive tackles for Alabama, getting up to the 2nd level, and then the vision from Malusi. Because we've seen him a couple of times. I love this guy's style. Look at him just be patient, find the crease, and then get back to that cutback lane. Terrific run right there from Malusi.
1st down at the 48. Locke winding up. Want to go deep. Oh, he got smashed. Woo! What a hit. Number 22, LT Overton, out of nowhere.
Listen, as a quarterback, you've got to understand the internal clock. And when it goes off against a team like Alabama, you better get out of there. And in particular, protect the football. Wisconsin's so fortunate that they're able to fall on that ball. I believe Malusi got that recovery. But L.T. Overton, the transfer from Texas A&M, I tell you what, that was with authority.
Texas A&M had switched his position. He came back to Alabama. Now they fattened him up a little bit. He's at 283, 2nd and 14. Lock, sidearm, nobody home.
This is the exact scenario that you just have to avoid. If you're Phil Longo right now, the offensive coordinator for Wisconsin, the last thing you want to do is expose Braden Locke on some sort of deep intermediate route concept. Granted, yes, you'd love to get the first down, but what's more important is that you don't expose him to another big hit, which could lead to a turnover. I would look for a short pass here from Phil Longo and the Badgers.
3rd down, 14 at the 48. Cade Yakamali comes in at running back. Locke checks it underneath. Good catch and close to a first down. What an effort after the catch by Vinny Anthony.
Tell you what, Gus, he needed to get close to the 38-yard line on that side, and it was awfully close. This is a terrific effort. There's the short pass I was talking about, and now he goes right up the field and then lowers those pads and gets close to the line to gain.
Wisconsin decides to go for it on 4th and 1 after the 13-yard pickup by Vinny Anthony. Tawee Walker in the backfield looking for the short yardage.
Previous plays under further review.
Gonna check that spot.
Ron Snodgrass is your referee today.
You know, we saw the benefit of Milroe checking it down for Alabama on the previous series and run after the catch on those short passes. And right there, I tell you, that was a tough run after the catch. Oh boy, that one was close, wasn't it?
Mike Pereira, our rules analyst, joins us. Mikey, rule books. What do you think of this?
Joel, we're kind of like, Joel, it's close. Oh, that's close. But remember, the yellow line is unofficial, and that's what we're using as a gauge. It's close, but I just don't think there's enough there to change it when it's this close. Remember, he's got to get to the 38, and when you look here, okay, is that enough to say that he got to the line to gain? If it's me, I don't think I'd change that.
Yeah, listen, Mike, I'm with you. You know, if the call
After
was...
review, the ruling on the field stands as called. It's 4th down.
Yeah, I'm with you, Mike. If that was called a first down, I don't think you could overturn it. It's not called a first down. I don't think you can overturn it. Now, Luke Fickell's got the big decision here, Gus, on a 4th down.
Luke Fickell, the body slammer. The most decorated wrestler in Ohio schoolboy history, 3-time heavyweight champion. Nose guard at Ohio State. Had 1 match as a wrestler at Ohio State. Turned it all over to football. What a coach he is. 4th down and 1 at the 39. Tawee Walker. He'll look to pick up that first down. They give it to him. Oh, and he won't. Alabama meets him in the backfield, drives him down. And the Crimson Tide deny Wisconsin. The 4th and short. Deontay Lawson, first man to him, shot out of a cannon.
They say Deontay Lawson might be the best linebacker Alabama has had since Reuben Foster. He's got that type of impact, and he had that type of impact on that 4th down in the backfield.
Look at him get low, Joe.
Woo! We're getting some leverage out here today.
Big Noon Saturday is sponsored by Pacific Life, creating financial security for nearly 160 years. Play today's Fox Super 6 free-to-play game. Download the Fox Sports app right now and enter for free for a chance to win your share of 5,000 big ones in weekly cash prizes. First down and 10 for Alabama. At the 40-yard line, Milroe keeps it. He's got a blocker in front of him. Picks up the first down, slashing, and gets out of bounds close to the Wisconsin 30. A 27-yard gain for the quarterback.
I mean, he is just like such an impressive runner. He just runs through the corner on the outside. Ricardo Hallman like he's not even there, Gus. 220, and he's that fast.
First down and 10 at the 34. And I'll hand it off this time to Jan Miller. When I look at Jay Milroe, he reminds me of when I watched Lamar Jackson for the first time. It was I want to say a weeknight night game, and Jackson was playing against Syracuse at the Carrier Dome. He was the most impressive quarterback running and throwing I'd ever seen at that point.
Yeah, and I think that they're a touch different. I think that Lamar probably has a little more wiggle than the raw power and speed of Jalen Milroe. But what I love about Milroe is that he can absolutely throw it down the field. Like I said, last year he was one of the best in the country taking shots down the field.
How about in the Iron Bowl? 2nd and 7 at the 31. Milroe wants to run it this time. He's chopped down. Ricardo Hallman with the tackle.
I think that the biggest key for Wisconsin's defense today is to try to limit the explosive plays and make Alabama go 8, 9, 10 plays in order to score. You got to rally up, make the tackle. The last thing they want to do is allow an explosive play that winds up in the end zone.
3rd down and 7 at the 31. Milroe, empty backfield. Milroe fires up the sideline. Caught, touchdown. Woo! Ryan Williams. The 17-year-old, 31 yards. Youngest player in major college football. And he started with the bang, 4 touchdowns in the season's first 3 games.
This guy should be a senior in high school right now. And I'm like, what high school kid can cover him? Because no college kid can cover him right now. There's no chance for Delancey. Transfer from Nebraska. Williams is too fast off the line of scrimmage. He tracks it too well down the field. That's one of the best players in college football, and he's 17.
7-3. Folks, if you haven't seen this Alabama team, the Crimson Tide, they've got the 17-year-old, and he is that dude.
I've been telling you that Jalen Milroe throws it so well down the field. That ball was beautifully thrown. Williams does not have to break stride. It's away from the safety onto the outside shoulder. This is a big reason why Alabama has been able to be so explosive in this first few weeks of the season. Now that is 10 of their 16 touchdowns on the year have been from 20 or more yards. And let's go above and beyond. Sponsored by Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above. Well, who's above and beyond? Ryan Williams. Coming into today's ball game, 6 catches for 207 yards and 3 touchdowns, and he's only 17. I know everyone's going to get tired of like, yeah, we get it, he's 17. He reclassified. Gus, he was supposed to be a recruit in next year's recruiting class. He reclassifies, comes a year early, and he is dynamic.
When he was in high school, he became the first sophomore ever to be named Gatorade Player of the Year in the state of Alabama. And that one kicked out of the end zone for a touchback. Friday night on Fox, Illinois takes on Dylan Raiola and the Nebraska Cornhuskers in a primetime Big Ten clash. It all goes down Friday night at 8 Eastern on Fox. How about Nebraska? I know they took care of your alma mater last week.
Hey, man, they didn't just take care of them. They swatted them around. That wasn't close.
But that's the team. And I know you mentioned it.
Yeah.
I've talked to you about it.
Yeah.
Nebraska is the team to watch this year in the Big Ten.
I tell you, they're not even sneaky good. They're just good. And Dylan Raiola kind of takes them over that standard. And he's a young player. He's just a true freshman. We got some sensational true freshmen in college football right now.
First down to the 25. Walker runs into a pile. Pick up a couple.
I'm going to leave a few out here, which, you know, everyone's going to jump on. But, Gus, you think about Jeremiah Smith at Ohio State. He's a phenomenal wide receiver. Ryan Williams, the young star right here on our air today. Dylan Raiola. These guys are impact players as true freshmen.
End of the first quarter. Alabama and Wisconsin. Crimson Tide bringing the caravan to Madison. Good first quarter so far. 7-3. Bama. Big Noon Saturday is sponsored by AT&T Business. Reliability for your business is our business. Welcome back to Camp Randall. We start the second quarter. Bama with a 7-3 lead over the Badgers. Gus Johnson, Joel Klatt, Jenny Taft with week 3 of the college football season. Man, some of these young players in college football are really showing out to start this year. And we've got one right here in this game in Ryan Williams. Second down and 8 at the 27 for Wisconsin. Gun down low, incomplete. That ball thrown behind C.J. Williams by Locke.
Yeah, we haven't seen Locke really complete anything. So after replacing Tyler Van Dyke, you might think, okay, he's been out there for a couple of series, but he hasn't really gotten a good completion under his belt. So you can tell that there's some anxiousness there. Overstrides, ball is low, ball is behind his intended wide receiver.
Locke struggling to start, 2 of 6. Scrambles, turns a corner, on the move, and incomplete again.
It's tough to break away from this Bama secondary. I know that there's a lot of new pieces back there. A couple of transfers, a true freshman. But, man, they are athletic. And Domani Jackson right there, he transfers in from USC. Gus, he was a 5-star recruit, number 15 recruit overall. It was down to Alabama and USC. Chose USC, finds himself back in Tuscaloosa here to finish out his career. He's a sensational player.
Jalen Mbakwe is the deep man for Alabama. He's electric. He had a 29-yard punt return. Not for a touchdown, but a 29-yard punt return last week. Won't get an opportunity here. The ball down around the 35. And Joel, let's take a look at our Pacific Life game summary.
Sponsored by Pacific Life, creating financial security for nearly 160 years. And that Bama team, even though they missed a field goal on that opening series, they've got the big strike from Milroe, now 89 total yards. Ryan Williams, another touchdown in his young career. That's 4 for Ryan Williams, the true freshman. And then the big story for Wisconsin, Tyler Van Dyke, their experienced quarterback, left the game on the first drive with an injury to what appeared to be his right knee. And Gus, it was a non-contact injury, and it's not the ones you wanted to see. He would immediately be carted back into the locker room.
First down and 10 at the 36 for Alabama.
False start. Offense, number 77. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's Jaden Roberts, listed as the right guard.
And this is really the only weakness that Alabama has shown this season, is a propensity to commit penalties, in particular in their offensive line. The offensive line last week had 8 penalties, Gus, and that's the first one today.
First down and 15 at the 31. Milroe keeps it himself. Jitterbugger. And he'll cross the 35 up to the 37. It's a gain of 7 on the play. Corcoran with the tackle.
I love his ball handling. If you're going to be a great runner, you've got to be able to ride that fake in there and get the defense to react.
Here's Milroe to throw it. Sideline throw. That one looks like it may have been deflected. C.J. Dupree, closest man to the football.
And another chance here on a third down for Wisconsin. Remember, I think that the most dangerous thing on these third downs is the legs of Milroe. Obviously, you've got to cover and prevent the big plays, but the last thing you want to do is blitz, get out of your rush lanes, and let number 4 run for a big gain.
Watch Ryan Williams. He's the receiver at the bottom of your screen. Third down and 9 at the 37. Milroe looking. Far side. Caught, but not enough for first down. Justice Haynes steps out about 1.5 yards, 2 yards short in front of Ricardo Hallman. And Alabama will punt it away.
And they do drop into coverage. They only rushed 4, and Hallman is there in zone, eyes on the quarterback, and he can react up on Justice Haynes and just gets enough of him to knock him out of bounds and force Bama to punt. That's the game plan, Gus. I'm telling you, if you're Wisconsin, you got to play back. Prevent the big play. Don't let them be explosive.
James Burnip will send it away. Tyrell Henry tracks it over toward the far side and has it at the 5. A 53-yard punt. The Dr. Pepper tuition giveaway is back at helping college students chase their dreams. See full rules and enter for September 30th at drpeppertuition.com. Welcome back. Second quarter, 13:44 to go. 7-3. Alabama, Gus Johnson, Joel Klatt. If I'm Wisconsin at this particular point in the game, I feel good about where we are.
I would totally agree. Defense has gotten a couple of third down stops. Now the key is trying to get this offense going. I think the key for this offense is going to be trying to run the ball on the perimeter and then take some vertical shots down the seams of the defense.
First down and 10 at the 5-yard line. Wisconsin trying to get a little room. Gain of a couple. Let's go downstairs to Jen.
Well, Gus, what I can tell you about Wisconsin backup quarterback Braden Locke, it was a legitimate competition between he and Tyler Van Dyke in the spring, early fall. When Coach Fickell made the decision, he actually said, I truly believe I have a 1A and 1B.
Maluzzi, great run. Oh, he lost it. Was he down is the question. Didn't look like it. Alabama says they have it. And they do. Brown with recovery.
Here's Maluzzi at the end of the run, and he just tries to lower the shoulder on Malachi Moore, but look at that. Moore gets that shoulder right on the ball, clearly out. Nothing even close to down, and there's a true freshman, Zavian Brown, with the recovery. A great run there, a good scheme. Like I said, the perimeter run is where they needed to sit there. They get the ball on the perimeter. They get a positive play and just a massive mistake from an experienced player, Chez Maluzzi, who has battled injuries over the last few seasons, and he's finally healthy and ready to go, and that is a critical error right there.
Coach Klatt, are defenders taught to try to put their hat on the football when they make tackles like that play?
I mean, honestly, in that open field situation, Malachi Moore is just trying to get him down to the ground, and the ball security just eludes Maluzzi. But Malachi Moore certainly being physical helps that business.
We're on first down. It's Miller with a big opening. Jam Miller stopped by Preston Zachman, but it will gain 13.
And that's the exact opposite I was just talking about for Wisconsin's offense. Wisconsin's offense needs to run away from the strength of the interior defense of Alabama. Meanwhile, Bama is more powerful than Wisconsin. They need to run the ball downhill in between the tackles, right at the teeth of that interior. That's where they're going to find the most success, and they just did right there on the last play.
Jam Miller, 15 carries, 140 yards, and a touchdown last week against South Florida. And he'll run it again as he squirts to the 10, a gain of 4. Zachman defensively.
You're seeing there's a big hole there, and Wisconsin gets lucky that the chaser here from the backside of the play is able to chase down and get that ball carrier on the ground. That's going to be a touchdown if that tackle is not made.
Second down and 6 at the Wisconsin 11. Can Alabama pay it off after the Badger turnover? Watch Milroe with his legs down here, and he'll run it. Far side, cuts it back with an opening, leans forward about a yard and a half short of the first down after the 5-yard gain. Thomas with the tackle.
If I'm Kalen DeBoer, this is 4-down territory, only because I know I'm more powerful. I'm running it twice. It's probably a read both times, and I'm going to get the first down.
Third down and short. Here's the handoff. Miller. And he'll get the first down.
That's exactly what they're doing, and Kalen DeBoer here trying to lean on this Wisconsin defense, trying to capitalize on that turnover.
First down and goal, Alabama. Jam Miller will get inside the 5. and a lot of shuffling going on because of injuries on that Alabama offensive line.
Well, but this is the offensive line that they felt like was going to be the best offensive line in college football. They get Proctor back at left tackle, 74. Pritchett moves back to right tackle. He's number 57. And now Tyler Booker, number 52, who was playing tackle in the previous 2 weeks, gets to move to his natural position where he's an all-SEC performer at left guard. This is the 5 guys up front that they felt like was going to be their bell cows going for the entirety of the year.
Second down and goal at the 4. Milroe running. He's got a block. Oh, and he's swarmed under. What a terrific defensive play. Aaron Witt, the senior, missed 3 years with injuries. And he comes up with a huge one. Loss of 2. Third down and goal.
Well, losing those yards makes it a tougher decision for Alabama here, and Luke Fickell's got to dial something up defensively. I would think about trying to get Milroe on the edge, rolling right with a run-pass option.
Third down and goal at the 6. Milroe fires in the corner, incomplete. That one high and wide. But there is a flag on the play, and this may be offside against the Badgers.
Yeah, I felt like Daryl Peterson, number 17, may have just stepped across that.
Offside. Defense number 94 in the neutral zone at the snap. Half the distance to the goal. Third down.
So Patterson, who's 17, and Elijah Hills, 94. There's 94, and he just steps, and a smart snap in there by Parker Brailsford. Didn't talk about him up front. Gus, the center for Alabama, transferred from Washington. He was the starter for Kalen DeBoer on that national championship game team for Washington. Now he's the center for Alabama. Smart snap right there, right when he had someone across the line.
Third down and goal at the 3. Justice Haynes in the backfield with Milroe. Milroe runs it, tries to turn the corner, gets to the edge, touchdown, Crimson Tide. Jalen Milroe.
Partner, you know what they say about speed?
What do they say?
Speed kills. How about Milroe right here? Max Lofi, 12, thinks he's got the angle, not even close, and nobody can touch number 4 as he races to the pylon. That's what happens there. Lofi's got contained, number 12, but as soon as he misses, the play is over because of the speed of Milroe.
Extra point up and good. 5th rushing touchdown of this young season for Milroe. 7 plays, 28 yards, all on the ground. And they capitalize after forcing the turnover. Alabama takes a 14-3 lead on the road against Wisconsin.
Been going round and round all day, baling some hay.
Big Noon Saturday is sponsored by Geico. Get more with Geico. Tomorrow, week 2 of the NFL kicks off on Fox as Derrick Henry leads the Saints against Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. And the Rams battle Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. Check for the game in your area. Only on Fox and the Fox Sports app.
How about the Cowboys looking great in week 1 over the Browns? Man.
But Deshaun Watson, different story.
Yeah, he's struggling. He is struggling, but not Dak on the other side. He got his contract, and he said, okay, now I'm in. Pay me my money, Jerry.
And he did. Both he and C.D. Lamb got their bread. This one kicked out of the end zone, so Wisconsin.
You know, if you're going to upset a team like Alabama, you cannot have miscues. And, well, the Badgers right there, several miscues right in a row. Ches Malusi, the fumble. There's the recovery by the Tide. Then you've got him in 3rd down. Goal to go outside the 5, jump off sides, make it a shorter distance for them to convert. What do? They convert for a touchdown. Might be a 4-point penalty right there. So Wisconsin has got to clean things up. And then here on the offensive side, because they've got to find the area where they want to attack this Tide defense.
First down to the 25 for the Badgers. Braden Locke has come on at quarterback for Tyler Van Dyke. Tyree Walker pushing the pile forward. Picks up 3.
You're going based on what this defense has shown with their new structure of defense under Kane Womack, the defensive coordinator, after years of great defense under Nick Saban. This structure does tend to struggle against perimeter runs, like I said last series, and then Gus running these slot receivers right down the seam. That's where South Florida had a couple of chances to create big plays. I think Wisconsin needs to do something like that.
On 2nd down and 7, Walker stood up and driven backwards, nowhere to go. That Alabama defense on the spot. Tim Keenan, first man to him, a loss of 3.
Here's what's difficult, though, when you're running at the teeth of the Bama defense is look at the power of those defensive linemen, their ability to shed blocks. They do such a good job, these big fellas up front, not only being physical, but being nimble, getting off of those blocks and making tackles in the backfield. That's why it's difficult to run right at them.
Makes it 3rd down and 10 to the 25. Alabama Wisconsin 1 of 4 on 3rd down conversions. Locke underneath, caught. That may be a first down. It'll depend on the spot. Will Pauling found a soft spot.
He's going to be just short. Did not get himself to the stick, so a mistake there from Pauling.
Do you go for it? Looks like they're going to.
Boy, I don't know about that.
Analytics. What do the analytics say here, Joel?
I don't care what the analytics say. I think Wisconsin should punt. You've got to punt and make Bama prove that they can drive the entire.
They're not going to do it. Locke, high snap, handoff. They'll run it and pick up a first down.
That's fine, and maybe all the stat nerds think that that's great, but you know,
I'm an analytics guy. I'm a stat nerd. I love analytics.
You are lying through your teeth, sir. That's a nice push up front, and they get the first down. The problem is, the last 4th down you had, they didn't block Deontay Lawson. He stopped them. They gave the ball up. The last thing you want to do is give Bama a short field and give the game away in the 2nd quarter.
You're getting old, Joel. That one deflected at the line of scrimmage. You're starting to get conservative here. Keon Sabb knocks it down.
My conservatism has grown with me from a young age. How about Keon Sabb, man? We saw him a bunch at Michigan last year.
Won a national championship.
And his instincts have been off the charts. And Tide fans, you know it. He had those 2 picks early, and there gets his hands on the football as Locke was trying to get to the outside.
2nd down and 10 at the 37-yard line. Locke trying to find his rhythm. Yakimelli nowhere to go. He'll be tackled for a loss. Jahad Campbell.
Look at all these Bama players that they have got just hovering over the ball, and they're still trying to run it right there. It is tight man-to-man, no safety back. You can't block all of those guys. They're unaccounted for. Jahad Campbell comes in unblocked. Why? Because you can't block all of those numbers. Wisconsin not playing the ratios right now.
3rd down and 10 at the 37. Yakimelli remains in the backfield. Locke over the middle. Sidearm. Complete to Pauling. He's gobbled up quickly. A 4-yard gain, but not enough for the first. Brings up 4th and 6. Campbell, Moore combining.
What they were trying to do was get Tretch Kekahuna in this space right over the 50-yard line right here, and he's going to be open. But Locke doesn't feel like he's got the time. You see that pressure in his face. He's fading off of his back foot, throws it under the chains, and a good rally up and a tackle by Campbell and Malachi Moore.
Atticus Bertrams punts it away. Mbakwe wants a chance and will not get it as the ball dies inside the 15. 14-3. Alabama with the ball and the lead. 5:57 to play in the 2nd quarter. Back to Madtown right after this.
14-3 Alabama, and their quarterback Jalen Milroe has put on a show here early in this marquee matchup. He's done it with his legs. Beautiful run over the left side, showing some power right there, running through the arm tackle of the secondary. He's shown it with his arm. A great throw to Ryan Williams for a touchdown right in stride. And then on 3rd and goal, Milroe races for the pylon in the previous series. He's been really good.
Inside handoff for Milroe to Haynes. Jalen Milroe has had rushing and passing touchdowns in all 3 games this season. Milroe, 18th career rushing touchdown in this game.
And this is when, as an offensive coordinator, and if you're Kalen DeBoer right now, Nick Sheridan, the offensive coordinator, quarterback coach, these two guys, this is the moment to get creative, number one, Gus, and get aggressive. Take a shot. And right now you got Ryan Williams in a bunch over here on the top. Anytime he's in a bunch or in motion, watch out.
They give it to him on the reverse. Cuts it inside, tries to stop, and picks up a yard and a half. Wisconsin not fooled by the end around. Thomas with the tackle.
And I keep stressing on this, obviously, but if you're Wisconsin, what you don't want to do is take too many chances, because, again, the only thing that Bama has struggled with this year offensively is sustaining drives for a long period because of the penalties that have crept up like they did a week ago.
3rd down and 4 at the 19. Milroe. Looking, drops it off near side, Haynes, and he is chopped down. Nicely done. Forkerine with the tackle. A transfer from Grand Valley State.
I think he does a great job here. Watch the reaction. He's in zone coverage. He kind of follows the tight end up the field. That's C.J. Dupree. And then Forkerine comes up, and that's a great open field tackle, and he gets to the ball carrier, in this case Justice Haynes, before he has a chance to make a move.
So on 4th down, Bama sends it off. Henry backpedaling from the 15. He signals for the fair catch, a 65-yard punt. All right, folks, here's today's Aflac trivia question, sponsored by Aflac. Get help with expenses health insurance doesn't cover with Aflac. Here's the question. Among Power 4 schools, who has the longest active streak of winning seasons? Alabama. It has to be Alabama, right?
It is not Alabama. I know this.
You know this question?
Yes.
Can you give me a hint?
It's not Alabama, and they might be playing the game we're in.
Who? Okay, that's something to think about. Who would that be?
I don't know.
14-3.
Giving answers away.
Wisconsin.
It's got to be Wisconsin. I think it's like 22 straight years.
They'll start from the 16. Locke. Hands it off. Walker gets through the hole.
Good run.
Brings some people with him. Crossing the 20 up to the 24. Tim Smith defensively. Here's your answer. Among Power 4 schools, who's the longest active streak of winning seasons? Wisconsin, 22. How about that?
How about that? Bama, they had some hiccups right before a guy named Nick Saban came to town, which is what led to him being in Tuscaloosa, and then what led to what was the greatest stretch of college football that we've ever seen. And now the challenge for Kalen DeBoer is to continue that great stretch of football with the Tide. 2nd down and 2 at the 24-yard line. Locke guns it underneath. That ball batted down. Lawson got a paw on it. I'm a huge fan of Deontay Lawson. Here he is, the linebacker right there over the left side of the offense. Watch, he's just got eyes on the quarterback the whole time. And then he just raises up and bats that ball down. He understands that an RPO is likely right there, run-pass option.
Locke winding up, sideline throw, flag on the play. Incomplete. Badger fans think, though, this may go against the Crimson Tide. Bryson Green, the target.
Yeah, they're going to have 2 fouls against Alabama here. They're going to get the offside. Both of the officials threw a flag for that, and then the deep official is going to get Zabian Brown for a pass interference. It looks like
2 fouls on the defense. Offside. Defense, number 50. That penalty's declined. Pass interference. Defense, number 2. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And right now Wisconsin has a choice to make, and the choice is to be aggressive. There's the jump right there at the snap of the football, and they get Tim Smith to jump. Beautiful look from the ump cam. Tim Smith in the neutral zone, and then Locke does what he should do and throws it down the field, and there's all the contact from the freshman Zabian Brown, number 2. Right now, Bama's got 2 true freshmen on the field in the secondary. Number 16, Red Morgan, and number 2, Zabian Brown. You got to attack those 2 guys.
First down from the 39. Walker gets back to the line of scrimmage. No gain. LT Overton first man to him.
You know, last week, South Florida, there was a stretch in that game. It's still a one-point game in the third quarter, and South Florida had about 2 or 3 chances in a row, Gus, to beat those specific players with streak routes right down the field. Red Morgan, 16, and number 2, Xavier Brown. Now, these guys are going to be great players, but they're freshmen. You have to test them, and certainly here on a second down, I would look for them to test each of those 2 players in the secondary.
Second down and 10 at the 39. Locke in for Van Dyke. And a beautiful throw in traffic and catch by Bryson Green. Gain of 12.
And that's really Locke's best throw of the day, wouldn't you say, partner?
Yes, sir.
I think that was his most confident throw here. And after the penalty on Alabama, now Wisconsin driving the ball across the 50-yard line.
And that'll take us to the 2-minute timeout. 14-3. Our score. Wisconsin, though, offensively finding a little rhythm. Let's see if they can get it in the end zone right after this. Big Noon Saturday is sponsored by Discover, the official credit card of the Big Ten Conference.
2 minutes left in the half. Bama up by 11. Rob Stone here with you, and coming up on the State Farm halftime report, highlights from the day's lone ranked matchup, BC at Missouri. LSU trying to avoid the upset at South Carolina. It's not going well, and Michigan, guys, right now in the midst of a get back, get right game at home.
All right, Soda, thank you very much. 2 minutes to go. First half, 14-3, Bama. Wisconsin finding a little rhythm here. Locke completed his last pass. Now he hands it off. Yacomelli. And he'll follow his blockers. Across the 45-yard line, down about the 43, a 5-yard gain.
Yeah, the urgency on this series is palpable for Wisconsin. Alabama's going to get the kick to start the second half, so getting at least 3 on this series is vital to turn it into a one-possession game.
Second down and 5. Locke, another high snap, pulls it out, sidearm throw underneath, and it's caught. Will Pauling. Little Patrick Mahomes action here for Braden Locke.
I tell you, he comes off of this fake, and watch this. This is the double play move, Gus. Watch, he's going to turn into a shortstop. Right about now, he's going to say, turn 2, bang, he deeps down, kind of 3/4 and delivers over the middle.
That's a gain of 10. First down at the 34. Locke fires over the middle. Oh, he had a receiver that couldn't hang on. Pauling had it in his hands. That would have been a nice reception for Wisconsin.
I'd say they're right at the edge of field goal range right now. So if you're Braden Locke, and if you're the coach Phil Longo talking to him in his headset, in that helmet, you're telling him no sacks. They cannot take a sack at any moment here, because that would knock them out of field goal range. Locke has got to be smart with the ball.
Second down and 10 at the 34. Locke over the middle again at the 30. Even more yardage for Pauling. Second effort will gain him 7. They're definitely in field goal range now.
And now there's an injured Alabama player. That's number 4. Looks like Quay Rusaw, who plays that wolf position, which is really a hybrid position for them. Sometimes he's up right near the line of scrimmage in the interior, Gus. Sometimes he backs off as a linebacker, and he's reaching for a leg right now. 6'2", 251 pounds. Oh, you hate to see that. He just gets a teammate right into that left leg as they were going in for that contact. That was Devontae Smith, number 8, the junior from Cincinnati, that contacted the left side of that leg for Rusaw.
Runoff. Wisconsin has declined the 10-second runoff. The game clock will start on the snap.
Yeah, let's hope the former 4-star recruit top 100 player in his class, just a redshirt freshman, didn't play last year, getting on the field this year. Quay Russaw, let's hope that's not as bad as it looks.
Russaw helped off the field. Jenny will have more on him as soon as she knows something.
Gus, as we turn our attention back to the field, that key is again true for Locke. You cannot take a sack. This ball needs to come out quickly. And then Luke Fickell's got to determine right now whether he would go for it on 4th or not.
9th play of the drive coming up. Locke fires a deep ball. Cornell! He had his man Pauling. Will Pauling had 2 steps on the Alabama defenders. Just couldn't put it on him.
Pauling with a great move right there at the line of scrimmage, and he's able to stack and then get outside of the defender Devontae Smith, and Malachi Moore just couldn't get over the top from the safety position and just outside of his reach as he lays out in the end zone. Locke tried to give him air. He threw it up there high, tried to let him run under it, but just could not corral it.
So Wisconsin will settle for a field goal. Nathaniel Vacos, good from 53. This one from 45, and he just missed it. Didn't hit it right. Wisconsin comes up empty with 36 seconds remaining here in the first half.
And that's a lot of time with that field possession. Alabama's got 3 timeouts, probably the most explosive offense in the country, and this miss from Vacos, just an absolute straight push. They don't get the points that they desperately needed to make it a 1-possession game, and now Bama with a chance. Kalen DeBoer and Nick Sheridan have a decision to make. How aggressive will they be? If it was me with this offense and these players, I would be very aggressive with 3 timeouts here, 36 seconds, a great kicker on the sideline that's probably good from anywhere from 52 to 55.
And I'd run it and get in the locker room with the lead. That's what I'd do. Milroe, he's not going to do that. He's firing down the field. He's got his man, Williams. Ryan Williams, another huge gain for the young man they call Hollywood, 47 yards.
They're just too explosive to sit on it. Why sit on it when you've got this type of arm strength and that talent on the outside? Good enough protection and a great pocket awareness from Milroe not to retreat as it was collapsing down around him. And a big play puts them already in field goal range.
First down at the 26. You were right, partner. Miller in the backfield. Milroe will throw it. Milroe down the sideline. Caught, touchdown, Alabama. Bernard, Jeremy Bernard. And just like that, the Crimson Tide get up and down, 26-yard touchdown. And they still have 19 seconds left.
They didn't even need all the time, and they didn't need to take any of their timeouts. 2 plays, bang, bang. The Tide is in the end zone, and Jalen Milroe again showing you why he's one of the best deep ball throwers in the entire sport. If you look at last year, only Jaden Daniels, the Heisman Trophy winner, and J.J. McCarthy threw for a higher percentage on balls down the field than Jalen Milroe.
What an incredible drive. 2 plays covering 73 yards. The Crimson Tide score in 17 seconds.
They've got this in spades, man. They have got the explosiveness. We saw it a week ago. They had 4 different touchdowns on drives that were 4 plays or less. This one, 2 plays right down the field. Bernard gets himself some separation on Ricardo Hallman, and that ball was released before he was out of his break. That's a great timing route down the field. That's difficult to do, guys. That's graduate level stuff from the quarterback position, to know where you're throwing it. He has the one-on-one, and he releases it on time. To be a great deep ball thrower, it's all about being on time and on target. And
Guns a-blazing for Jalen Milroe.
I was just going to say, shooting a shot right there.
I like the term you're using now, graduate level stuff.
He's so good down the field. Now, there's
but what I don't understand, Joel, is this kid was amazing last year. He comes back this season, everybody's criticizing his ability to throw the ball.
You know, I think that
doesn't make any sense.
It's a narrative. I think what ends up happening, to be honest with you, is that you see his new coach, Kalen DeBoer, and you're immediately thinking of, well, the DeBoer offense is what Michael Penix did last year at Washington. And let's face it, Michael Penix and Jalen Milroe look a little bit different in the way that they play the game.
But as you explained to me, Coach DeBoer has won with different types of quarterbacks.
Yeah, his whole career. Remember, he's 106-12 as a head coach, and he's had dual threat players when he was a head coach at Sioux Falls, won a national championship. He had Jake Haener at Fresno State. He had Michael Penix when he was first at Indiana, then Penix when he was at Washington. So he had Penix when Penix was a dual threat at Indiana and a pocket passer at Washington. The best part about Kalen DeBoer is not just that he's a winner, it's that he will win whichever way his players can. He coaches to what his talent can do on the field.
He's not his system.
Correct.
Walker. And that should take us to the end of the first half. Alabama showing those explosive plays. Jalen Milroe hooking up with the 17-year-old Ryan Williams. 21-3. Our halftime score. Milroe 2 passing touchdowns and a rushing touchdown in the first half. Don't forget, coming up, Rob Stone and the boys with the State Farm halftime show from Camp Randall Stadium. Big Noon Saturday is sponsored by AT&T Business. Reliability for your business is our business, and the business at hand. Alabama and Wisconsin. Crimson Tide with a 21-3 lead over the Badgers as we head into the second half. Gus Johnson along with my QB Joel Klatt. If you're Wisconsin in the first half, you felt good. But then in the end, Alabama's showing that explosion that makes them a special team.
I know you're a boxer. You love to talk boxing, right? You know how important the counterpunch is.
That's right.
Well, that's exactly what Alabama gave right there. They were able to kind of dodge and then counterpunch and take advantage of the miscues from Wisconsin. Let me take you to the next level moments from that first half. Sponsored by AT&T Business. Reliability for your business is our business. Gus, here's the miscue. 4th and 1, stuffed. It's 3-0 Wisconsin at that point. What do they do? Bang, right there. Touchdown Ryan Williams. Now another miscue from Wisconsin. The fumble from Ches Malusi. There's the Tide with the recovery. What do? They stick it in the end zone. Jalen Milroe, beautiful job racing to the outside pylon. There's the speed and the explosiveness from number 4. The missed field goal for Wisconsin. Drive it down inside of 2 minutes. They think it's going to be a one-score game. Jeremy Bernard, touchdown. That's what Bama does. They counterpunch. They do a great job of taking what you do, and if you make a mistake, boom, they're going to make you pay.
And we start the second half, Alabama getting the football. Jalen Milroe ready to come back on the field for the Crimson Tide. This one sent deep for a touchback. Let's go downstairs and check in with Jen.
Well, what a first half from that quarterback, Jalen Milroe. I asked us, Coach DeBoer, what he liked the most from his quarterback, and he said he just looks so comfortable. Obviously, the O-line is doing their job. That's a great start. He has time in the pocket, and when he has that time, he makes it look easy. Defensively, it's going to come down to continuing to stop the run. Coach Fickell did confirm, Gus, Tyler Van Dyke done for the game. That means Braden Locke needs to be efficient, make some plays, take the shot, because we need it.
So Alabama starts. First down and 10 at the 25. Milroe bounces out of the pocket, shows it over the middle, and it's caught. Once again, Bernard with space. And Jeremy Bernard will pick up 22 yards.
Another big play there. Let's go to our first half check-in. Is sponsored by Allstate. You're in good hands with Allstate. Total yards in Bama's favor. Those third downs, 4 of 7. But it's the explosive, Gus. 4 plays of 20 or more yards. And another one right there. Bama is rolling.
First down to the 48. Opening series for Bama. Bernard again on the far side. Makes the first man miss. Gets upfield for positive yardage. Daryl Peterson there to push him out of play after a gain of 6. And there, terrible, terrible sight as Wisconsin's starting quarterback, Tyler Van Dyke, who injured his knee in the first half, comes in out of the locker room on crutches. 2nd and 4 at the 46. Miller. Jam Miller. Close to that first down mark.
In Wisconsin, they do get one of their leaders back. Number 1, Jake Chaney, is back on the field, a linebacker. He is the guy with the green dot, the communicator. He was not in the first half because of a targeting penalty last week, but here he's back in the game.
3rd down and 1 for Alabama. Milroe, and another first down. He lost it. Wisconsin may have the football. Let's see. And they're going to call him down.
I think maybe Caden Proctor recovered this if he wasn't down under the pile there, but it does look like he had control. He absolutely had control all the way until that forearm hits as Milroe took it over the left side right there. He's just so dangerous in that zone read.
He has such great acceleration when he goes through that hole.
I mean, put it simply, Gus, he's the most dynamic athlete on the field almost every single snap of the season.
1st down and 10 at the 34. He's got 59 yards rushing on 9 carries. In the backfield with him. Here's Jam. Jam Miller! Jam Miller! Touchdown, Bama! 34 yards. Alabama starting to throw it into high gear now, 27-3.
Well, first you're going to get this block down from this side. They do a great job, but then watch the linebacker. He's just in the game, Jake Chaney. He gets wide for some reason, which presents just a huge hole down the middle of the field, and there's Jam Miller. Nobody touches him. Another explosive touchdown for the Tide.
The extra point is up and good. Bama with 2 touchdowns in the last 2 minutes and 37 seconds. Jam Miller this time. Crimson Tide rolling. Next week, start Saturday strong with Big Noon Saturday as Will Howard and 3rd-ranked Ohio State take on Marshall. It all starts at 10 a.m. with Big Noon kickoff live from Columbus. Then it's Ohio State Marshall only on Fox. Ohio State, one of the best teams in the country. Georgia, Ohio State, Alabama. Just to name a few.
Don't forget about Texas.
Texas, we saw him last week. Steve Sarkisian. If you had to pick one, who would you pick?
Oh, gosh.
Come on. Don't be scared.
Recency bias, so that Texas team looked awfully good. Although, man, the explosiveness of this Bama team is what's so dangerous, is because you can see any mistake you make, and it's like Tyson in his prime. It's just like, bam, it's knockout blows that this team gives you. They don't just take advantage, Gus. They're in the end zone immediately, and that's just dangerous. This Bama team, every series that I get to watch, whether on film or live here today, impresses me more and more.
1st down and 10 to the 25-yard line for Wisconsin. And they'll hand it off to Lucy. Not a lot. It's just hard to believe that Nick Saban is no longer coaching college football. I can't believe it. I remember meeting Coach Saban the first time. He was the head coach at Michigan State, and I was calling the Sun Bowl in El Paso against Stanford. Tyrone Willingham was the head coach at Stanford. Michigan State got pummeled in that game. Next thing I know, Coach Saban's at LSU.
Oh, man, what a run he had.
Boy,
the Tigers.
2nd down and 9 at the 26. They find Malusi with space. He'll pick up a 1st down. After LSU, I remember calling Coach Saban's games when he went to Miami to serve as the head coach of the Miami Dolphins.
You know, and you just wondered, listen, I wonder to myself what he could have done with the Dolphins if they would have made a different choice at quarterback. Remember, they were trying to decide between, I believe it was It was Dante Culpepper and Drew Brees. Drew Brees was coming off that shoulder injury. They decided on Culpepper.
Here's a run, Malusi, another first down. Wisconsin showing some good signs, picking up yardage on the ground.
And that's the challenge for Alabama, right? I mean, listen, you come out, it's 28-3. They feel like they provided a knockout blow, but Wisconsin has got a ton of urgency because with what looks to be like your starting quarterback for the foreseeable future with Braden Locke, they've got to form and settle on an identity, and that's what this half of football is going to be all about.
Cade Yacamelli in the game, running back. They'll give it to him, tries to get outside, turns it up, stutter step. Nicely done for Cade Yacamelli. Campbell with the tackle. Yacamelli, a transfer from Penn, Ivy Leaguer, gain of 7.
And he was slow to get up, so he'll jog off the field.
He's got some guns on him as well.
He does. He's been in that weight room.
Which way is the beach? That way, big fella.
Braden Locke, you talk about, now he started last year. Braden Locke, the quarterback now for Wisconsin. He started a game against Illinois, led him back from 14 points down to a win.
On 2nd and 3. Tyree Walker leaning forward, trying to get that first down. He's close.
I'll just go back to what Jenny touched on in the first half, and what I alluded to as well is that Braden Locke, he was in a really good quarterback battle with Tyler Van Dyke to be the starter, as you see right there close to that first down marker, and they end up giving that first.
Let me correct myself, partner. That was Darian Dupree, true freshman, running the football from Chicago. First down at the 43. Now Tyree Walker back in the game, serving as the pistol back. They give it to him. Walker breaks it inside. Nice run. Justin Jefferson defensively. And a flag on the play.
Holding. Offense, number 57. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Going to get Jake Renfro. He's the center, transferred from Cincinnati. And I believe that was number 50, Tim Smith, that got some really good penetration right up the field right here. And then you're going to see 57, Jake Renfro. Let's see, kind of hooks him right there, and then they go to the ground. There's not a lot of jersey pull. Not a very good call by the official, but certainly you would understand why the flag came out. Wasn't a hold, but it backs Wisconsin up.
First down and a long 20 now for the Badgers at the 47-yard line. Chez Malusi in the backfield. Block. That one deflected at the line of scrimmage. Great hands, LT Overton. We've been calling LT's name the whole game.
Yeah, and it's interesting, Gus, because this defense, what are you looking for in the second half from this defense? Well, you got to correct some of the mistakes that you've seen on film. Now, there's a lot to like about what Bama has done defensively. One of the things that I think they need to develop is a real solid pass rusher, an impact player up near the line of scrimmage. That could be LT Overton. His first half, he had a strip sack, 6 total tackles. He's a highly recruited guy that feels like he's at his natural position now, and maybe he's the type of guy that could develop into a real star up front.
Second down and 20 at the 47. Lock, sideline throw, and caught. That one may have been deflected, but terrific concentration by Vinny Anthony.
Vinny was about to get popped too. So not only the concentration of the outstretched arms of the defender in front, that's Sabb. It is tipped, he catches it, and then look at Malachi Moore barreling down. Good legal hit with his chest to the body of the receiver, but he's going to get popped, and still he was able to hang on and control that catch through going to the ground.
16-yard gain for Wisconsin. Third down and 4 at the 37. Lock. Taking his time, with time, backpedaling, he's got to get through, and he's hit as he throws the football, incomplete. And you always talk about the clock in your head. It should have gone off a little earlier for Locke. LT Overton again.
And there he is. There's our guy. He's the one providing pressure. Look at that effort. Now he's up to that 285, as you were talking about earlier. And Locke just got that arm moving forward. One of the officials throws his beanbag, signaling it was a fumble. The white hat calls it incomplete with that hand moving forward. and Wisconsin will go for it here on a 4th down. But watch out for Overton. Don't you feel like he's just developing before our eyes, this young player for Alabama?
No doubt about it. Gained weight, went from 245 to 280 since coming to Alabama. Transferring from Texas A&M. Young man from Milton, Georgia. Big Noon Saturday is sponsored by Verizon 5G. Welcome back, 28-3, Alabama on top of Wisconsin. We don't get a chance, folks, to call a lot of SEC games because of all the television contracts and whatnot. But, partner, have you ever been down to an SEC game?
No, because when I started calling games, it was with Fox.
But let me tell you something. I love the Big Ten. I'm a Big Ten kid. But there's nothing on earth like watching a game in the SEC. You go between the hedges at Georgia, Auburn, when they let that War Eagle, Tennessee with the checkered end zone, Rocky Top.
I don't know, man. I'm partial to dotting the I these days.
Okay, it's all right. Whatever you think. The world famous Ohio State Buckeyes. 4th down and 4. At the 37. They'll drop it off near side, looking for that 1st down. I believe they have it. Cade Yacamelli, who went out with a minor injury, picks up the 1st down. Wisconsin keeps the chains moving.
Yeah, and this is a really solid drive from them. They've been able to run the football a little bit and then get some of these short passes, and then the run after the catch. Even though they're not big explosive plays, they've been able to get the ball down the field.
On 1st down at the 32. Stutter step, Yacamelli turns back with running room. Terrific job by the Ivy Leaguer. Cade Yacamelli, 17-yard gain. Malachi Moore with the tackle.
You know, this Wisconsin team, their strength is up front. I've been talking about this offensive line, really led by Jack Nelson, the left tackle. That's where you see a lot of these big runs happening.
On 1st down, they keep running left. Yacamelli again. I tell you what, there's a kid on this offensive line, number 56. Look at Joe Brunner. They call him Rip because he looks like Rip from the character in the show Yellowstone.
Well, look at it. He was taking Overton to the train station.
Taking him to the train station right now. I like that, partner. You don't want to go to the train station.
I mean, he did a great job on that last play of getting from his double team up to the linebacker. That's the mark of an experienced offensive line, and an offensive line that you can really lean on, is that can they get from the double up to the 2nd level and block the linebackers. And this team is doing a nice job. Listen, it hasn't been great for Wisconsin, but when you look up, all of a sudden 26 rushes for 5 a pop. So they've been able to run the ball fairly effectively today.
13th play of the drive. This time they'll give it Malusi. He'll get inside the 5-yard line. That Alabama defense has been on the field for quite some time now. Looks like they're getting tired.
And Gus, I'm just going to sit right here. These guys on the left side, Nelson and Brunner. So you got Rip and you got his mate over there on the left side. That's where they're making hay, is running over that left side. These guys are really solid players and experienced players. Nelson, he's a 5th-year senior. You know, Brunner, I guess we can call him Rip as well. He was a top 200 recruit. So some talent over there, and certainly something that they can lean on from an identity perspective.
They consider Brunner an NFL prospect. 1st down and goal at the 4. Malusi running over that left side. Get to the 2, maybe inside the 2.
So here's the next step in this offense is it's left run, left run, left run. Now you've got to get into a similar set or formation. Give the illusion that you're going right back to it and allow Braden Locke to read the defensive end coming off of the offense's right. At that point, I would expect Alabama to squeeze down heavily, and Locke could just run in himself on the quarterback keeper.
2nd down and goal of the 2. Yacamelli back in. He weighs 215. Yacamelli, and he is crushed as soon as he touches the ball. Alabama's Keon Saab. Loss of 1.
You see what I'm talking about? Watch them crash down. They're trying to run this ball right here. They crash down. If Locke just keeps it, he's walking into the end zone. And Malachi Moore was shaken up there because he got popped by Saab as they come in and collide. like a vice, squeezing on the running back, and Malachi Moore still down.
28-3 Alabama, but Wisconsin knocking on the door here in the third quarter. 16th play of this drive.
How about the ball control? You know what's helped out, though? Wisconsin on ball control?
What is that?
Alabama scores too quick.
Interesting.
I mean, it's explosive plays. It's going to lead to that. The yards are there, you know, so it's not like Bama is.
Third down goal. Walker. Met at the line of scrimmage, will fall forward and gain a yard. Campbell again defensively for the Crimson Tide.
And Campbell's had a great day, and it should be noted he's playing a lot today because Justin Jefferson missed the first half for a targeting last week, and Jefferson and Campbell play a similar position. So number 11, Jihad Campbell, has been out there for the bulk of the day and played really well. He and Deontay Lawson are really good at linebacker, maybe as a tandem, two of the better players in the country.
8 straight runs for the Badgers. 4th down and goal. They're going for it. Locke underneath. Caught. Touchdown, Wisconsin. Will Pauling. What a confidence booster for the Badgers. Backup quarterback in. They drive it all the way down the field. 17-play drive, covering 75 yards.
And it's not just confidence for the Badgers, it's really confidence for Braden Locke, who will be their quarterback moving forward. Nice throw there to the outside, allowing Pauling to kind of adjust and corral that ball. That's a really solid series. And you talk about forming an identity. 17-play drive for Wisconsin on Alabama. 11 runs, 6 passes, Gus. Maybe the Badgers are starting to form their identity a little bit here in this second half.
You got a head coach that was a 3-time state champion wrestler growing up as a kid, so you know he's tough, he's rough, he still trains. Luke Fickell. During the offseason, his team developing a strength now, doing this against one of the best teams in the country, the Alabama Crimson Tide. Big Noon Saturday is sponsored by Allstate. You're in good hands. Welcome back, 28-10. Alabama with the lead, but Wisconsin driving that football all the way down the field. 17 plays, 75 yards. They eat up 8 minutes and 14 seconds. As Pauling and company found an ability to move the football against one of the best teams in the nation.
I think more importantly, in those 17 plays, 11 of them run plays. Those are identity builders, you know, and that's what Luke Fickell has been looking for, really, for the better part of a season and a half.
This was sent out of the back of the end zone. Gus Johnson along with Joel Klatten. If you're Wisconsin, you have to feel good. You're moving the football against one of the best teams in the nation without your starting quarterback.
Yeah. Well, there's 2 ways to think of it. Yes, you feel good about what your offense is doing. The problem is that this unit on the field, the defense for Wisconsin, has been taken apart by the explosiveness of the Crimson Tide. So in this game, it just has not panned out, where any rhythm offensively leads to a tight game.
Milroe, who wants to throw it, now decides to just tuck it and get out of bounds. I think the Wisconsin defense, Joel, and correct me if I'm wrong, they've done a good job when Alabama has tried to go wide with the run.
They have, and again, that stems from their structure. They have primarily a 3-down front, or what I would call an odd front, and then they've got guys standing up. You know, these outside linebackers, and those off-the-ball stand-up players can get side to side, but downhill runs, those are the ones that have hurt them.
Milroe bottled up and goes down around the 30-yard line. Lowry with the tackle.
I would just further that point by saying that everyone's worried about number 4. So when the focus is on number 4 and what's going on outside with him trying to read those zone plays, the interior run game really opens up at that point.
Wisconsin with a chance to get off the field. Milroe looking. Milroe dancing. Milroe steps it up. Milroe, oh, and he's tracked down and dropped behind the line of scrimmage. Well done. Leon Lowry again, the senior Syracuse transfer.
That's great coverage down the field. You're going to have man-to-man, and yet you've got linebackers both spying what's going on in the backfield. So two players with their eyes on Jalen Milroe, everybody else in man coverage, and it allows those guys, Leon Lowry being one of them, to come up and make the tackle when Milroe wants to run.
Third 3 and out for Bama today. So Wisconsin will get another shot at it. Tyrell Henry stands at the 22. James Burnham puts a boot in it. And it's fair caught at the 19. A 51-yard punt. Today on Fox, a new chapter in one of the oldest rivalries in college football begins as Dylan Gabriel leads 9th-ranked Oregon against Oregon State. Then at 7:30, UCF takes on TCU. It all goes down next on Fox. What do you think about Oregon?
Man, they've struggled so far in their 2 ball games against Idaho and then Boise. I understand against Boise. Boise has a running back that should be in your Heisman Trophy list. Ashton Ginty has been phenomenal, and he ran all over the Ducks last week in Austin. The problem for Oregon is that the home team in this Oregon State-Oregon rivalry generally wins, and they're on the road in what is an early season civil war.
Usually those two teams.
False start. Offense, number 38, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Usually those two teams meet at the end of the season, but rain is in the forecast in Corvallis, so it should feel like old times.
Yeah, it always is. There you see the flinch kind of at the bottom of your screen right there. And that was the false start, so that'll back him up 5.
First down and 15 at the 15. Yacomelli has done a nice job in the game. Lost it. Was he down? Alabama has it. And yes, the Badgers turn it over again, their second turnover of the game.
And this running back room, which they really liked, Ches Malusi, Cade Yacomelli, Tyree Walker, making some mistakes. Second fumble from that room. First from Malusi earlier in the game, and there Yacomelli just gets it ripped out of his hands. How about that reaction? That was Overton, wasn't it, in there? Number 0, Deontay Lawson. He's in there, and he's able to rip that ball loose. And there's Bama able to just get it, and they'll be first down inside the 20. Man, this defense is opportunistic. Obviously, they gave up that last drive. They come out there, and on that drive, immediately ripping at that ball, and they're able to get the turnover.
First down and 10 of the 18 for Alabama. Here's the handoff. Outside. And a little juking going on. Jam Miller gains 7. Chaney with the tackle.
Every single mistake that Wisconsin has made today, Bama has made them pay, not just with points, but a touchdown. And we'll see if they can do that on this series. And just when you think Wisconsin has a little bit of life for Luke Fickell, it's a turnover and a short field for the Tide.
Second down and 3 at the 11-yard line. Milroe wants to run it. Looking for a lane. And he'll step out of bounds as he crosses the line of scrimmage. Picks up 1.
They are just so worried about Milroe. Look at this coverage that they're playing. You're going to have man-to-man out here on the outside, but then you're going to have these linebackers that are just sitting there and waiting for Milroe. Eyes in the backfield, playing zone underneath and man-to-man over the top because of the explosiveness of the quarterback. Very unique style of defense being played by Wisconsin right now.
Third down and 2 at the Wisconsin 10. Milroe runs it, follows Miller with a seam. Milroe, touchdown, Alabama. Jalen Milroe again. And the Crimson Tide go up 34-10.
You've got to maintain your gap integrity. You're going to see one Wisconsin player on the inside, then the linebacker goes inside, and if you got 2 guys in the same spot on defense, you're going to get beat. And Milroe makes them pay. Good fake on the interior, then he takes off to the outside, and it's another touchdown for Alabama. And again, they make them pay. Mistake, touchdown, Tide.
That Alabama offensive line really firing off the ball, playing extremely well and efficient as a unit today compared to last week when they had a bunch of penalties. 3-play drive covering 18 yards. That's now 14 points off turnovers for the Crimson Tide.
And I want you to show how he just makes you pay with small mistakes. We go back to the touchdown. This is what I was talking about. You're going to have the guard right there, and if you've got 2 players inside of that guard in the A gap, then you're out of position. You see those 2 Wisconsin players in the same area, and that's when it's wide open on the outside. It's called gap integrity. Every player has a responsibility for a certain specific leverage in the defense. Wisconsin was out of place, and Milroe immediately, he's in the end zone. Guy is unbelievable.
Yesterday, you talked about Alabama's offensive line scheme. Pinning and pulling is what you mentioned in your lecture to us during our production meeting. I wrote it down.
You were taking notes?
Yes, sir. Yes, Professor. Was that an opportunity to see Alabama pin and pull?
No, that was straight zone read.
Anthony. And he'll cross the 15 up to the 17. Let's check in with Jen.
Well, Jalen Milroe, guys, wow, he has been impressive so far. I asked him this week, how does he stand apart from the rest? He really said it's his work ethic. He said it comes from my family, my military background. Ryan Williams confirmed to me, no one works harder than our quarterback. And a fun story, Gus, going into the locker room at the half, Jalen Milroe was the first to get to the tunnel. He high-fived every player, every coach, every member of the staff. Then he was the last to go into the locker room. He said leadership is such an important part of his game, and boy, is he leading by example today.
And last year, remember, Jalen Milroe was benched for the South Florida game. Nick Saban put him on the bench, said he needed an attitude adjustment. He came back after that game and was a different man. This one thrown to the sideline and caught down the sideline. Still Pauling, but he stepped out of bounds.
I know Nick Saban will never admit this, but I think that he made that change last year. Here's Pauling out of the slot, who runs that corner route and is hit by Locke, and we'll see that he step out, and yeah, right there, looks like his foot is on the sideline. Right there, that left foot.
A 25-yard gain, 1st and 10 at the 43. We want to get back to your point as soon as this play is over, Joel. They go deep down the field. He's got a receiver and incomplete. Locke had his man, just couldn't find him. Kekahuna was open.
You go back to that game last year. They had just lost to Texas at home, and there was a lot of people around Alabama talking about, hey, Jalen Milroe isn't good enough, or we need someone different at quarterback. I think the attitude adjustment wasn't necessarily for Milroe as it was more so for the fan base from Nick Saban. Like, hey, you want somebody else? Look.
Okay.
I know what I'm doing. That's why he was starting early, and he developed Jalen into a fabulous player, and to the point they were one snap away from potentially playing for the national championship with Jalen Milroe.
So Nick Saban took a page out of
he would never admit
Shakespeare.
That. That's just speculation on my part, but I think that's what he was doing.
He gave the fans ocular proof.
That's right.
Wisconsin on the ground. Walker.
Walker on the carry.
And that may take us to the end of the 3rd quarter. 35-10 our score as we head to the 4th in Madison. And folks, you want to stay with us because coming up, it's the jump around, one of the great traditions in all of college football. 35-10, folks, and we're bearing up for the jump around, a tradition between the 3rd and 4th quarters has its origin in 1993 when the men's swim team debuted. Here we go. Remember when we were here during COVID? Right after COVID ended, Joel?
I remember.
And they played the jump around.
Oh, man, that was good, wasn't it?
Well, you should have seen Jenny down there. She was jumping around. 2nd and 14 at the 39. Locke has it stripped. Loose, and Wisconsin this time falls on it. But coming around that corner, Q Robinson. Shot out of a cannon.
And he attacks the football as he's getting blocked right past the quarterback. He attacks the football. And it's good to note for Alabama, Q Robinson is in for the injured Quay Rusaw, who left the game earlier in the first half, has not returned. And Robinson comes out there. Robinson highly recruited, as most Bama players are.
3rd down and 25. Lock over the middle. Completion. Pauling. And just look at that Alabama schedule. It's going to be fun to watch some of these games that the Crimson Tide are going to play. Georgia on the 28th of September. Tennessee on the 10th of October. Missouri struggling with Boston College at home today on the 26th of October. LSU, and then the Oklahoma game on the 23rd of November. This one's sent away and out of bounds. Bama will get solid field position. Back to Madison after this. Big Noon Saturday is sponsored by Pacific Life, creating financial security for nearly 160 years. And by Coke Zero Sugar. Is it the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
Pacific Life Game Summary sponsored by Pacific Life, creating financial security for nearly 160 years. Jalen Milroe has been sensational. Another game in which he's got 2 passing touchdowns and 2 rushing touchdowns. Again, he's lethal throwing the ball down the field. He was a year ago. He has been so again today. And then, of course, we know what he can do with his legs. One of the most explosive players in college football.
Richard Young comes in and running back number 9. He has it now. They're high on him. Richard Young, Richard freshman.
Richard Young, the ball carrier.
He'll gain 8 on his first carry. Jalen Milroe today has multiple passing and multiple rushing touchdowns in every game this year. 5th time in his career he's done it. And they'll pick up a first down.
I'll tell you, Richard Young is a heck of a player. I know that he's a redshirt freshman. He was a 5-star recruit, 12th overall recruit in the class. Only got 9 carries for 23 yards in 3 games last year, so gets to redshirt. But you can see the vision and then the burst. You know, Gus, when I see young backs, what I try to look for is, do they have that patience behind the line of scrimmage? And Young seems to have that.
First down. And he'll be lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage this time. But what I don't understand, Joel, is you got a bunch of 5-0 and Young is down. And he's in some pain. Back in a moment. Big News Saturday is sponsored by AT&T Business. Reliability for your business is our business. Welcome back to Camp Randall Stadium. Alabama with a 35-10 lead over Wisconsin. 2nd down and 9 at the 38-yard line.
False start. Offense, number 52. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
That's Tyler Booker, the left guard. And that's only the 2nd penalty on the O-line today.
They've been excellent.
Yeah, they have. And remember, like, that was a huge point of emphasis for this team after last week. Last week, it was sloppy. 3 turnovers, 13 penalties, and 8 of those penalties were on the offensive line. Today, no turnovers, only 4 penalties, and 2 of them on the offensive line. So just much better.
2nd down and 14. And a timeout, Alabama.
Charge timeout. Alabama, they're first. This is a 30-second timeout.
Gus, every time I watch Alabama, they've been at such a high level. Any game they play, you kind of watch with an eye also on, well, what is this going to look like against Georgia? And that's their next opponent. They'll be off next week. Then they've got that game against Georgia. And then they've got a real gauntlet later in the year at Tennessee, which looks to be an excellent team. Missouri, who I believe is able to come back and at least is on top of Boston College at this point. LSU
24-14 right now in the third.
OU still, they've got to go to OU. So this is a very difficult schedule for Alabama. But the real one is Georgia. That's what Tide fans know. That's what Kalen DeBoer knows. It's like, this is all well and good to come out here and play well and get over some mistakes that you made in the previous week. But like, how is it going to look against Georgia?
Milroe fires. Incomplete. Alabama beat #1 Georgia in the SEC title game last year. Had an 11-game win streak. Head into the semifinal where they finally were defeated by Michigan in the Rose Bowl. Third down and 14 at the 43. Milroe fires sideline and incomplete. Henderson, the target. Let's go downstairs to Jenny.
Well, there have been a couple injuries for Alabama. Wanted to update you on Gus. Running back Richard Young, who we just saw leave the field going to the tent. He's done for the day with a lower body injury. Malachi Moore, that leader on the defense, also done for the day. They were evaluating his upper extremities. And Quay Russa has been out for a while. He will not return as well.
Okay, thank you, Jen. Henry, the deep man, as James Burnett prepares to punt it away from his own 44. End over end kick. This one out of bounds. (35-10) Alabama on top of the Badgers. Under 12 to play in the fourth quarter. First down and 10 at the 9-yard line for Wisconsin. Malusi gets through the hole, spins forward. It's about 6.
Malusi on the carry.
Brings up 2nd and 4.
This game's out of hand, 35-10. If you're Wisconsin, what do you start taking away from this game? Well, your offensive line is the absolute strength of this team. Running the football has got to be the identity for Luke Fickell. He wants to be a tough, nasty, disciplined team. That's what he wants. That's his nature as a former wrestler. And that's the type of offense and style that this team needs to have.
Malusi again tried to turn it up. Tripped up as he crosses the line of scrimmage, a 1-yard pickup.
And it's fascinating to me that there he is.
Coach Fickell.
There's his patented one leg, his single leg takedown.
That's what he talked about yesterday. His go-to move.
He said the front headlock and the single leg. That was his go-to.
The body slam. That's what he wants his Wisconsin team to play like. He talked about that identity thing. And ironically, Joel, he was miffed. He didn't know where they would be headed. Just didn't look inside again.
Well, I think for him, he knows what he wanted, but oh gosh, that one was almost picked off there.
Incomplete. A lot of pressure being applied by the Crimson Tide.
Hill had a chance at it, 94. That ball was batted up into the air, and Hill's got a great shot at a pick right there. He could have taken it in. Edric Hill was right there. He's got it. We almost had a big man touchdown right in the ump cam. Locke is caught. You can see he pumps. Beautiful job getting to the ball. That was Pierre, Yanze Pierre, number 42. And then Edric Hill almost had the pick 6.
On 4th down, Wisconsin sends it away. And this time it's Ryan Williams on the punt return, and the 17-year-old gets to the 35. A 42-yard punt and a 23-yard return.
Just to finish that thought for Wisconsin, they're looking for what are our strengths, is our identity going to be moving forward. They're going to also have an off week after this and have a chance to go back to the drawing board. Listen, Alabama has been the measuring stick for college football for quite some time. All due respect to Georgia. Georgia, their 2 losses over the course of the last few seasons have been to who? Alabama. They are the measuring stick. And so now Wisconsin gets to go back and say, okay, where did we fall short? Well, way too many mistakes. We got the turnovers. We got stopped on 4th down, and we gave up way too many big plays. And they can also take a look at what they did well.
Milroe looking. Milroe throws. Milroe caught. Touchdown, Alabama. Josh Cuevas, the redshirt junior from Los Angeles. 37 yards.
This is such a good concept. Watch, the first tight end is going to cross the face of the safety, and it allows Cuevas to go right up that rail on the far hash. And as soon as that safety, number 14, takes off to the left, that's Preston Zachman. Milroe immediately makes the read and throws it back to the right side. Beautiful ball. And Cuevas is in for the touchdown. Followed his coach here from Washington, and he's in the end zone.
The extra point up and good. 42-10. 10:05 to go in the 4th quarter. All Alabama.
I'll tell you, the explosiveness of this group is going to send shockwaves through college football, and there'll certainly be a storyline moving forward on the podcast, Gus. Georgia, Texas, Ohio State, and maybe now Alabama on another level in college football. I thought Miami, Tennessee, and USC, they're showing me something early in this season. I think early in this season, Quinn Ewers and maybe Jalen Milroe making a push towards the Heisman Trophy in the first month of the year.
Milroe today, 12 of 17, 196 yards passing. He's thrown 3 touchdown passes. Rushing, 14 carries, 75 yards, and 2 touchdowns for Jalen Milroe. Oh, by the way, new episodes Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday available as podcast and on YouTube for the Joel Klatt Show. Joel, you become more of a coach. You know, you were a great player at Colorado. When you left, over 40 school records were in your back pocket. But now you're like that young offensive coordinator. You're like a Lincoln Riley or a Ryan Day or Sean McVay. That's what I'm going to give you. You're the young OC.
Oh,
here we go. My quarterback, who, by the way, is the young OC.
Well, if I was an OC, you know who I'd give the ball to?
Me.
No. A guy like Ron Dayne. That's who I would give the ball to.
You should.
Ron Dayne was honored in the first half this afternoon, celebrating the 25th anniversary of his Heisman Trophy winning season.
He got skinny.
He did. He ended his career with 7,125 rush yards, the most in FBS history. But
they don't count.
Here's the problem. The NCAA doesn't recognize that because when Dayne played, bowl stats didn't count. So they recognized 6,300 yards, which means that Donnell Pumphrey from San Diego State is the NCAA's all-time leading rusher, even though, Gus, he isn't. Ron Dayne is, and Wisconsin is actively trying to get that changed, and I fully support that move from Wisconsin. Anybody that has any influence on that decision, Ron Dayne is the NCAA career leader in rush yards. 7,125 should be the mark. 99 Heisman Trophy winner. He went, Gus, think about this. True freshman year, what did he do? 1,800 yards. Then another 1,500 yards as a sophomore. Then a 1,200-yard year as a junior. Then another 1,800-yard year as a senior. It's staggering the production he had over those 4 years, and he should be recognized as the NCAA's all-time leader.
Well, you think the NCAA, they'll change that.
Yeah. Let me hold my breath on the next time the NCAA does something that I approve of.
Okay. I'll let you have that. You can fight that one by yourself.
Oh, man.
9:14 to play in the 4th. Wisconsin has shown some very good signs today. They've done some wonderful things, made some mistakes. All things considered, this is one of the best teams in the country, maybe the best team in the country by the time this season is over. Locke off his back foot, incomplete.
You know, if I'm just taking a snapshot of Alabama, I do not have a lot of concerns on offense for Alabama. They're explosive. They can score in a hurry. Jalen Milroe is showing more and more development every single game of his career. That last throw was beautiful. Gus, that's a post-snap read of the middle safety, and he gives it to the tight end. Beautiful throw in the pocket. That's pocket control. All the things that you would want, he can do that. I think that the defense has been really good. I wouldn't call them great yet, and there's been some times when Wisconsin has been running behind the secondary. That happened against South Florida as well. And I think that's a concern when you look at a team like Georgia coming up.
And Coach DeBoer trying to replace a legend. One of the hardest things to do in sports is replace a legendary coach, but a few have done it successfully, including Brett Bielema, who took over for Barry Alvarez in Wisconsin, Jimbo Fisher, who stepped in at Florida State for Bobby Bowden, Lincoln Riley, who replaced Bob Stoops at Oklahoma, and Ryan Day, who followed our guy, Urban Meyer, at the world-famous Ohio State University.
I think if you were asking me, what's the most important thing that any of those guys did and Kalen DeBoer needs to do is to be comfortable in his own skin, confident in the person and man that he is and the coach that he is. He's not trying to be Nick Saban, and by all purposes, Kalen DeBoer has done an excellent job of that. He's very comfortable in his own skin. He's confident, and he's put together an incredible resume, which is why he's in Tuscaloosa.
Ty Simpson comes in at quarterback now for Alabama.
Former five-star quarterback. Just assume, folks, if someone runs on the field for Alabama at the skill positions, just assume it's like former five-star recruit. Like, that's just what they do. And by the way, that certainly was the case with Saban. Kalen DeBoer has been recruiting incredibly well after Saban hung him up.
Simpson, sideline, is caught. This time, Caleb Odom. What I don't understand is if you're a five-star player, why would you go to Alabama where there are a bunch of five-star players ahead of you?
Oh, see, it's all about mentality, and this is what makes the guys that go to Alabama, you know, so unique, is that they want that challenge. They want the iron sharpens iron type of mentality. They want to go to a place where they can compete for and win championships. They want a place where they can compete against the best in practice and be developed for the National Football League.
Hill, freshman from Meridian, Mississippi. Let's go downstairs to Jen.
Well, it has been a little bit of a journey, Gus, for DeBoer, getting all the way to Tuscaloosa. 24 years to get to Alabama along the way. He crisscrossed the country, starting in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Michigan, Indiana, Illinois, California, Washington. And how about Alabama? Now, he is from Sioux Falls. It's only a 6-hour drive. He told me a lot of friends and family made the trip to Madison for him. Pretty special to be back in the Midwest.
All right, thank you very much, Jen. DeBoer, an NAIA All-American as a player at Sioux Falls. Sideline throw, caught, and it's Odom. He was the head coach there for 5 seasons, going 67-3. That led to 2 seasons at Fresno State, 2 at Washington, and now Alabama.
You know, he doesn't like this comparison, and it's quite lofty, but I'll just make this point. In golf, the greatest player that ever lived, Tiger Woods, has said that the most important skill he learned when he was young is the skill of how to win. Not necessarily all the skills of how to play golf, but how to win. And I would just say there's a correlation in Kalen DeBoer as a head coach. Thus, he has the skill of winning. 106-12 is a staggering record for a head coach. And in large part, you get a peek under the hood, like, why would you want to replace Nick Saban, the greatest coach in the history of our sport? Kalen DeBoer, in his mind, he says, why not? Why not? And why not me? And he's, by all intents and purposes of being around this organization and program, he's doing an unbelievable job so far.
One thing you can't say about Coach Saban, he left the cupboard full.
Oh.
I still have a problem with you saying Tiger Woods is the greatest golfer of all time. Jack Nicklaus has more majors. Sam Snead won more tournaments. What are you talking about? How do you come up with that?
I don't know, man. I guess I'm just partial to Tiger Woods.
Young guys have no sense of history.
I mean, Tiger Woods basically almost passed Jack with half a career.
Did he pass him?
He would have.
If I could have, would have, should have, if ifs and ands were pots and pans, the world would be a cleaner place, partner. And here's Simpson. He wants to run it. He'll chug it out of bounds, short of the first down. .445 to play in the fourth, 42-10. By the way, folks, Joel Klatt, my partner, is a +2.5 golfer. And he and Van Dyke, Tyler Van Dyke, we're talking. Van Dyke is a half a one. Did he say he was?
Yeah, he's a .5, which is he's a great golfer. And we said, like, hey, we
and I instigated and I made sure that you guys are going to play.
That's right.
And I said to Van Dyke, you know, Joel's going to take money off you. He said, we'll see. And Joel, the thing about it is, you can take money off of him now.
He's got it. We know he's got it, so might as well play for a little scratch. You know what I mean?
I know you take money off former Falcons quarterback and our CBS colleague Matt Ryan all the time.
Well, Matt's going to not. He doesn't want to hear that.
I'm still waiting to see you and Tony Romo. I'm waiting for that one.
Well, anytime.
Ooh. First down and 10 at midfield. And incomplete.
This Bama team, they don't have to play Texas. We showed you their schedule. I'm interested to see this year what happens when it gets real and they face real adversity. Listen, being on the road and what has turned into a lopsided game, that's not real adversity. Even a one-point game early in the fourth quarter against South Florida, that's not real adversity because they know that the outcome is not really in question. What I'm interested in, and I think everybody is interested in, and I think I know what's going to happen because I really trust Kalen DeBoer and this coaching staff and a lot of these leaders, more specifically on this Bama team. Guys like Malachi Moore, hopefully he's okay. You know, guys up front like Booker, who they really love. They've got the talent. Jalen Milroe, terrific leader. But Gus, when it gets real and it's looking around, what they're going to have to avoid are the players looking around and being like, well, this is what we used to do. That's going to be something that they cannot fall back on. You know, whenever, if it's hard against Georgia or Tennessee on the road, or whenever that happens, that'll be what they must avoid.
Wisconsin getting pressure on the quarterback, and this time they come up with the sack. Nice play by Christian Allegro. They like him as the spy defender, spy the quarterback.
He's an athletic guy, number 28. Ty Simpson getting a little run here. That's always good to get in, get developed as a young player, get some of those reps so that if what happens to Wisconsin ends up happening to Alabama, at least you've got those reps under your belt as the backup quarterback.
Now next week, Big Noon heads to Columbus for the first time this season. Number 3, Ohio State. They have their eyes set on the national championship, and they're loaded. Joel, Jenny, and I, with the Big Noon crew, will have a front row seat all season. It starts next Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern, only on Fox. I'm looking forward to seeing this little freshman wide receiver for Ohio State.
Well, he's not so little. Jeremiah Smith is the real deal. Obviously, Ryan Williams proving himself here today. But that's a team that I think Ohio State could end up being the best team in the country because I think they've got more experience than anybody else. A lot of those guys that have played a ton of football for the Buckeyes coming back. Very similar to what the veterans from Michigan did before last year.
And what they're telling me about Ohio State, as Dupree runs it, their running backs are playing extremely well.
And I think it's the best running back tandem in the country. Travion Henderson, Quinshon Judkins, and their play caller, something tells me he knows how to run the ball. That would be Chip Kelly, but today it's all Bama.
Chipper the Ripper in Columbus. 2 minutes to go. Back after this. Big Noon Saturday is sponsored by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. 42-10, Alabama All business for the Crimson Tide and their first road trip of the season. Hostile environment at the beginning of this one here at Camp Randall, but Alabama just too much for the Badgers. 2 minutes to go. Second down and 2 at the 19. Here's a handoff. Dupree. Let's take a look at the upcoming schedule for the Badgers.
Well, like Alabama, they're going to be off next week, so their next game is September 28th. They'll go out to the Coliseum and face a USC team that a lot of us think highly of. USC will be coming off a game in which they're playing at Michigan. That's next week, as the Trojans will take on Michigan, who beat Arkansas State today. And then you look at the rest of that schedule for Wisconsin, and obviously facing Penn State at home, that's a benefit to them, and they're just going to have to continue to get better and better.
Dupree picking up a first down.
And more specifically, developing that identity. Listen, they're not going to play many teams that have the explosive capability that Alabama did offensively. You know, I think that the more troublesome part for Luke Fickell is going to be the mistakes. Did they move the football? Yeah, they moved the football at times. I felt like they ran the ball decently at times. There was things there in the passing game that they were unable to hit. But the mistakes are certainly something that they've got to eliminate, more specifically those 2 turnovers.
Dupree running right. Look who's happy today. Mark Ingram, the Heisman Trophy winner from, of all places,
Look at
Alabama. Look at his shoes.
Look at those shoes. We got Big Al on there. And the Heisman. He's got the Heisman on the heel.
Look at Mark.
Oh, look at this guy.
He's happy.
I love Mark.
Little steaky leg action.
Mark is one of the most joyful, genuine people I've ever been around. He is a phenomenal guy.
Awesome. I used to see him on those videos they would shoot when he was with New Orleans with Kamara.
Yeah.
That's when we first saw him as a television talent. And that should do it, folks. 42-10, the final score. Coaches shaking hands at the end of this one. Kalen DeBoer and the Crimson Tide. All business from the very beginning. Jalen Milroe saying, I've never been to Wisconsin, but I want to get up there, play this game, get on the plane, and come home with a win. And that is exactly what they did. Different story. Tyler Van Dyke injuring his knee early. He started the game 5 for 5 and injured that knee. Let's go downstairs to Jenny, who should be with the happy Coach DeBoer.
Guys, thanks. Let's find out just how happy he is. It really was a dominant performance for you guys, Coach. We saw explosive plays. We saw so much versatility from your QB. What was the highlight for you from this one?
I think finishing out the second quarter the way we did with the stop and then the touchdown and then coming back and doing the same thing in the third quarter. Those are small things that add up, and that was a big part of the game and the momentum.
I do want to ask you specifically about Jalen. 5 touchdowns today, doing it on the ground, in the air. His leadership was on display. What does he mean to this team and the potential of this team?
Yeah, he's huge. Just the threat and the way he manipulates the defense and how they have to play us. Eyes are in the backfield. You don't know where he's going to be, and he can take off and run anytime, but he's making the plays with his arm through the air today, too.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
The final score here in Madison, Alabama 42, Wisconsin 10. We will have more from Camp Randall Stadium with Rob Stone and the boys after this. Jenny Taft and Joel Klatt. I'm Gus Johnson saying so long from Camp Randall. Enjoy your day.